Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist. I think we're on part 5 of the biggest trick of gender theory. You might be thinking in the last video or whatever, why is he getting off the subject? He's going on this tangent about, how men are, these stats are wrong and everything is flip-flopped the way you really think it is, and men are good people, and blah, blah, blah. Because there's a reason, okay? To get this, the whole thing about gender theory is they want to destroy the family unit. See, how do you win a, you chess or a war or a game, you take out the leader, right? You take out the leader, that hurts a lot more than anything else, right? So how are you going to destroy a family? You're going to take out the leader. Who's the leader? The father. So what are you going to do? You're going to demonize the father. You're going to make everything seem unsafe. That's why that's the trick. They want the little girls to think that you have to get a college degree and go get a job and be a man, okay? Even though the stats say that you'll go crazy, 10% will be fine, but 90% of them are going to have some kind of problem. Half of them are going to just be basket cases, man, because they can't handle the stress, right? So it's a trick. It's a trick to get the woman to think that she has to, whatever. Men are beating you. You have to. If you get a husband who beats you, even though the stats say that no, women beat men. Same with verbal abuse. No, women leaving. You know what I mean? No, men never leave. Women leave. Okay. But they say these lies just like the stats with the divorce rates, 50%. It's not 50%. No. It's very high if you get I'm going to do a video. I'll tell you exactly how you can have a 99% success rate with a marriage, okay? All you have to do is, if you see one of these red flags, get rid of them. Move on. And one of them would be no single mothers, because they already proved they will leave. It's 72% of marriages work. The other 28, they're just getting 3 marriages so that they make 72 marriages that they destroy. Just don't get one of them. You know what I mean? There are a bunch of things to do, and if you cut them women out, you obviously have a good woman. You'll have a woman instead of a non-binary woman. But the whole trick is they're not actually non-binary. I'm not saying they're like green hair and they're going around saying, you got to say my pronouns. They don't know they're non-binary. Because, and they're not even non-binary. I'm just saying non-binary because I have to call them something to differentiate them from a woman, right? So I'm calling them non-binary. That doesn't mean they're really non-binary. It just means that they are not being in their place, okay? And they also hate men and women. That's what non-binary basically means. They can't handle any stress because they worked all their lives, or they just have lived with a man that they hate, that they think they're unsafe with. They'd rather be with a bear, you know what I mean? But so I got 2 or 3 more stats, and I'll move on. Let's look at the marriage divorce rates, okay? If you have a man and a man, 75% success rate. Take one of the men out and put a woman in there, so it's a heterosexual couple with one man and one woman. That 75% success rate goes down to a 50% success rate. And you could say, oh, it's because the man is a horrible, horrible human being, even though we just, in the last video, I showed you the stats. The stats said no, women are horrible. Women leave, women beat, women verbally abuse, women use. You can say that, but what about this next one? Now when you have a man and a woman, let's say you take the man out and you replace him with a woman. Now you have a lesbian couple. 2 women, no men. That 75% that went down to 50% with one woman now goes down to 25% with 2 women and no men. Literally, a lesbian, woman and a woman couple literally has a 75% chance of failing, and two men with no women has a 75% chance of succeeding. Really, but it's all the men. You got to watch about. You got to be. If anything, men should be careful about marrying women, because they will leave, they will cheat, they will abuse you, they will, all the things that they tell the little girl, they should be telling the little boy, But so, and the other thing is, this is what kills me. When you break down, even if you're a man, who stops and helps you? Is it a woman? Does a woman? Women, they don't know much about cars or whatever, but they could offer you a ride, a cell phone. Do you need a cell phone? I don't know if you have a cell phone. Maybe you can use my cell phone. I can go down and get you some gas and bring it back. Has any woman in the history of humanity in any country ever done that for a man? These women, they see that not only do they get stuff thrown at them from their boyfriends and their friend zones, friends that they have, so that they use. They also, when something happens, when that man comes up and tries to rape you and you yell, what happens? 30 men come. But she'll blame all 30 men plus the rapist. You know what I mean? What happens when that man, you can have a woman literally punching while the guy's on the ground, punching in the face. Literally, you can see the man is going to die if she keeps this up for like 20 punches or something, No one will bat an eye. They just walk by. But a man grabs a woman by the thing and says, no, I want to talk to you. Instantly, every man around comes to the rescue. Who helps you? Who rescues you? Who jumps on you? And that's another thing, too, is who jumps on who? Men are such horrible people. Oh, you mean the guy that jumps on you and protects you when the bullets are flying? That guy? Oh, okay. And you're the good person that don't jump on anybody, don't protect nobody, huh? You're okay. That makes sense. When the ship goes down or there's a fire building, fire, who gets saved first? The woman. Who gets on the lifeboat? The woman. And these women, they don't even. I've interviewed many women, and I've seen at least 1,000 women being interviewed, okay? All right? All of them, when they're asked this question, well, don't you feel at least grateful about that they will sacrifice their life for you? Oh, how often does that happen is what I hear. Will they go to war and die for you? Well, how often does a war happen? They minimize it because they have such disrespect for men. They can't even be grateful that a man would, like I would jump in, even for a total stranger. Most men, if there's bullets fly and there's a woman, they will protect that woman and die, even if it's a total stranger. No woman does that. But we're the bad guys? We're the bad guys. Okay. That all makes sense. And this thing that because they got to get you, I'll get into the blue-eyed effect, but they always think they're so unsafe. Just like it's the same thing with the black people. They did the same thing. Black people, LGBT, women, they did the same thing. They gave them this victim ideology, right? And when you embrace victim ideology, you become a supremacist. It's not if you're bad or you're this or that or some people. 100% of the people, if you embrace victim, because you can't, they're like two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. You know what I mean? Okay. So anyways, this thing that they're unsafe, that goes hand in hand with their victim ideology. But think about it. Men are 1,000,000 times more unsafe than women. Even like, mugging someone or doing some kind of violence. Most men, there's always that guy, there's some men that target women, like especially like people that snatch purses. You know what I mean? They'll always target women. But in general, most criminals they don't go up and try to mug the woman. They'll wait for a man. You know what I mean? Same way, even rape. It's probably 100,000 more men getting raped in prison than women get raped outside of prison. You know what I mean? Men are a million times, and then on top of that, that all the crime is directed mostly towards men, okay? Not to the 10% or whatever, or 5% that is doing all the crime, the men. Even though the women blame all of us, even though the other 95% are actually there saving women, you know, dying for women. I forget my thing. But yeah, that 10%, they're more evil, violent to other men than women, okay? And then on top of that, we have to, not only are we unsafe more than women because of that, we're more unsafe because now not only do we have to protect ourselves, but we also have to protect the women. So now we're like 10 million times more unsafe than women. But all they do is talk about how they're unsafe. But again, I'll get into that. That's the last part, is about victimology and that, and the blue-eyed effect. Okay, because that goes hand in hand. They have to be unsafe, just like the black people. They'll be. That's what's funny. You'll have a protest, right? A white cop kills a black cop, right? You'll have 50% of the people protesting are white. And you'll have all the black people in the crowd protesting. Yeah, we're unsafe around white people. Are you, what? This is like the LGBT. I got a bunch of things of newscasters, right? I didn't put the split screen up. You can tell they did it, right? They'll have split screens, right? They'll have one guy on one side, an activist or, you know, politician or whatever, and then on the other side they're showing the school, right? And the activist is talking about LGBTs, how they're so unsafe in the school, and they'll go on and on about how they're unsafe. But at the same exact time, on the other split screen, they'll either have one or two things. They either have the entire student body, and obviously I'm exaggerating, but they have like 100, 200, 300 kids out at the outside the school protesting with LGBT flags saying, "We love LGBT, you guys suck, blah, blah, blah." And the whole reason why they're unsafe is because the parents don't want the LGBT flag on government property. They only want the American flag that includes everybody. You know what I mean? And especially in kindergarten, it represents sexuality. Why would you want a flag that represents your sexuality in a kindergarten? So these parents, they're not going to, use your common sense. They're middle-class parents. They're not going to go down, start killing people or beating up LGBT kids. They can't get into the school. I mean, if a parent goes to school and just walks around, someone's going to say something, What are they unsafe from? How can the entire... And then sometimes they'll show inside the school. There's all these banners. LGBT, we love LGBT, all the flags in them. And then the kids are running around the school all with these flags, LGBT things, banners saying big banners on a thing, we love LGBT. How are you unsafe? And what's a better question is, how are you showing a split screen like this and no one sees the hypocrisy, the double speak or whatever? Like how I never had they literally have a whole gang in their school that's on their side. They're unsafe. I never had a gang. Did you have a gang when you were in school? A whole group of people that would love you so much that they would go out on their school's day off on Saturday and protest for you. I didn't have that. I felt safe. Yeah. But anyways, I'm getting off the subject here again. And I'm down to a minute. So when I come back, I only have 2 more things to say about this, and then we'll get into, because it's all about single mothers, see? And if the women think that they're unsafe with men and they're garbage and this and that, they ruin the marriages first of all, and they don't want to get married. They want to have that job. They're so afraid. You know what I mean? But I'm running out of time here, so when I come back, I'm going to ask you, who was oppressed in the 1800s? Who was actually oppressed in the 1800s? Was it men or was it women? Okay? And if you think women, you're an idiot.